Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today we have got in the north corner of the map, Giggles, playing in pink as the Ottomans. And he's going to be going up against Wham today, playing in teal as the Malians. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Lipany. And we have got a very interesting spawn. We've got already almost a corridor of death with a sheep following a scout miles away. That's a big trail. Both scouts running into each other right now, and an interesting civilization matchup on Lipany today with Ottomans versus the Malians. And the Ottomans, of course, can often have that little bit of an early aggression with the military school. We can see up and running already an instant military school placed down by Giggles. And we'll be looking to get the spearmen just to harass the gold mine here, the pit mine for the Ottomans. This sheep is very much trailing. He's going to be catching up. He's running fast after his scout, and what will be interesting with this matchup is the timing of it, really, because the Malians can often go for that fast castle and have a little bit of a power spike in that castle age, being able to use the Furumba garrison to get many units out quickly. But I do like the situation, at least the map spawn for the Ottomans here, because with a bit of walling up, a bit of static defenses here in the middle, that would stop a push, or at least delay a push, and that would allow the Ottomans to go for a second town centre to get that economy rocking and rolling. And I suspect that will be the play here for Giggles once he sees the map. Going for that second town centre for the Ottomans, try and counter, be a bit greedy, get the economy rolling, and try and nullify any sort of pressure that can come in from the Malians and in the castle age played by Wham. Relying on those straggler trees here, Wham, and he'll be looking to get that Saharan trade network in a very nice spot. Protects a lot here, actually. Often you'll find a lot of players getting the Saharan trade network within a range of the pit mine, and so denying kind of a couple of positions for houses that could be there to boost the gold, as the villager is being poked and prodded by that spearman, but not too much value can be had, courtesy of the fact that the Saharan trade network is at the moment being placed within the town centre range. And we see the Ottomans go for the twin minaret madrasa as the landmark of choice, meaning that there won't be any trade here, at least for now, for Giggles. The west side is a little bit more open, a little bit more prone to being attacked for both players, has to be said, as we scale through on the northwest corner of the map. Lots of room to enter for. On the east side, a little bit more closed off, and of course in the centre we've got that death corridor, and I suspect a nice spot here to wall up and protect there for Giggles. It will mean that Wham will have to take an indirect route to get ahead and push into Ottoman's base today. And that'll be tricky because, of course, the infantry is the units that often is produced from the Furumba garrison. Of course, it can produce the barracks and the arch range units, but no stable units. And that's a concern, because that means that Wham will need to move and mobilize with that army around the sides, and it will take a long time to reach the base. Of course, the central route is the quickest, but it does look very much like it could be easily defended here for Giggles if he pays attention. We'll see how he plays this one out, as the spearmen do come out further. Another one pops out, scouting around the base and seeing what else they could do in terms of damage. But it has to be said, the Malians do play a very condensed eco, and so can often thrive in this situation. Of course, the Saharan trade network protecting the gold and even the lumber camp wood, and food is obviously protected by the town centre. Do see some eco upgrades coming in, wheelbarrow and the gold mining upgrade for Malians. Of course, Malians very dependent on that gold, with the Furumba garrison being one of those landmarks which converts the cost of units into gold and makes them cheaper too. Now, the Ottomans have some very nice bonuses, as we see villagers going out to stone, and it will look to be that second town centre we were talking about. Question remains is, where does he put that town centre? Often players will put the second town centre on deer patches or a fast source of food. Of course, with the Ottomans and the Malians, neither can take the boar rather. Both civilizations coming from an Islamic tradition, and looks like villagers coming up to the deer. Actually, yeah, looks like this villagers coming out to wall up a little bit. Might look to be quite aggressive with the walls, and indeed is actually doing so. He wants to protect this pass as much as possible and get in front of that sacred site too. Don't forget the Malians getting to that castle age pretty fast does leave them a bit of a headway, a bit of a leeway to get those sacred sites and relics as well. So you have a bit of lead time rather, to get those all important resources on the map. And villager is coming out for Giggles. Scout is there for Wham though, so Scout doing his job. He's spotting this villager, and you might even see a village coming out to deny the walls and try and keep that open, just to be Annoying. There is a spearman coming out though, which will hopefully look to do some damage for that scout. And it's actually going to attack the villager first, and should be able to push this way. And it looks like Giggles is going to keep trying wall up, but the wall has been blocked, the foundations have been placed, it's going to try and wall around it. And it should be able to do that, especially with the spearman on the field. There's not too much that Wham can do to deny it at this point. As I say that though, the javelin thrower is popping out to do some range attack on that spearman. And here's the engagement. Oh, the javelin thrower actually went for the villager first, and spearman does get a poke and a prod. I'm not sure that the javelin thrower can kill that villager in time. Oh, actually he's doing a decent amount of damage. Villager does have to head back, and okay, so this is nice to know. The javelin thrower does do quite a decent amount of damage on that villager, and the spearman won't be enough here. Villager does go back home. Just about survives on 1 HP, so Giggles saves that villager, and as we see now, a second town centre coming on that deer patch. Certainly making this a very difficult position for Wham to push. Sipahi coming out as well. I suspect it's from the military school, it is indeed. That second town centre is going to allow the Ottomans to build up a villager lead. Of course, Wham ahead in that department just already. I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, actually. Wonder whether Giggles had some idle time on his town centres, on 27 villagers only, versus the 29. As he goes for a second military school, going to be getting those passive generation of units. Okay, be a barracks coming out for Wham. So it may not indeed be a too late of a castle uptime. It's going to get there relatively soon. Almost got the resources to do so. Just needs a bit more gold. There it is. Going to place down the Farimba garrison. Going to be building it with 9 villages, so certainly we're looking to get to that castle age quickly. And he's got some other production buildings as well, which could focus on getting upgrades, and then start with a strong push in the castle age. More villages going out to gold, obviously to fund the Farimba garrison production. There's that barracks. Behind this, getting the blacksmith to influence the military schools will be able to increase the amount of production speed for those buildings. Certainly Giggles will need to be careful, because there is going to be a castle age push coming in soon, you feel, by Wham. And behind this, the villager lead is still in the hands of the Malians, surprisingly enough. Second town site is up and running though for the Ottomans, so that will reverse relatively soon. Maybe a bit of a miss micro there for Giggles. Not entirely sure why he's only on his less villagers there, but there is that new age. There's a castle age coming in now for Wham, and as he gets to that castle age, he puts a second pit mine to boost the gold coming out, building the houses around to boost it even further, and we start to see some production here, starting off with some Donso. Be interesting to see how quickly Wham decides to place down a mosque as well to look to get those relics. Foundations will be placed down. The Sipahi here to protect this location as well. The second town centre now kicking in. The villager lead has switched now to Giggles, 36 villagers to 35. As an archery range is being placed. Giggles is actually going to be itching towards that second age as well, third age really, the castle age. Not too far off in terms of food and gold, and being on 2 town centres, this is quite impressive actually, the timing wise, and I feel like the static defence is doing their job in the middle. This will delay the push, as you can see. Wham trying to burn it down. We will get through pretty quickly, but this buys the time. Giggles needs to get to that castle age and then build the counter units, and so certainly at this stage, things looking quite nice here for the Ottomans, and Giggles is going to place down some more palisades behind the sacred site this time to delay things even further. I'm not sure if you'll manage it, because the Donso have actually gone through. The veterancy upgrade is in. Villagers are pounding their hammers, looking to get those palisades. It should just about manage it. He does indeed. It means that Wham will have no direct access again, at least for the short term. Do see a meta on the field as well, I believe. In any case, he's going to the castle age now with the Mehmed Imperial Armory. We're looking to get those free siege engines. Of course, it's under the influence of the blacksmith, and I think for a second there Wham must have clicked on the other side, but the pathing of course took the units the other way around because of the walls, and he's going to try and torch down the walls now. We'll get through, but by the time he does, Giggles should be in that castle age and be able to put on some pressure with the units of his own. We shall see. The town centre will be a nice static defence there for Giggles. Of course, I'm not sure Wham sees that. Actually, I think he has scouted it. He spotted it. He's got a scout on the other side. There's the meta on the field coming out with the Sipahi and archers. There's the castle age, and we'll be looking to see what units he goes for. He does pick up a villager there, wham. Nicely done. Villagers garrison inside. We'll take some arrow fire, but the javelin throwers will be quite tanky for that, although the Donsos are the ones being fired at. Javelin throwers are heading through forward, looking to get some value, looking to pick off a villager, does do so. Enough to one-shot them there. 7 javelin throwers. Nicely done, and 48 villagers to 42 now. The lead is not all that extensive, all things considered. As time goes on, you feel the Ottomans will be happy with the situation. On the west, a couple of units being sent there, looking to harass the eco, making a bit of a secondary army. But the issue for Giggles is that not so much the villager lead, but it's so much the idle time that's being caused. So nice play by Wham, just to cause a bit of idle time there. Does keep one villager there, Giggles, on stone, looking to maybe perhaps fund more military scores as he can. On the east side, we do see the Imam looking to get the sacred site, but the Sipahi, accompanied by the meta, are onto the case, and they do deny that. A couple of walls coming out now on the west side for Wham. Looks like the timing push wasn't really working here for Wham, and it looks like he's going to wall up and maybe boom up himself as well. This is really interesting how this second town centre really denied access, denied that push, and it's forced Wham into actually trying to match the boom a little bit, although he's still producing those units, perhaps looking to go around on the east side. There is actually a way through here, which is not totally direct, but it's not too bad as things are. As the army heads towards the south, looks like Giggles getting good scouting information, showing that his opponent is not trading. As I say that, he sees the villagers there and the markets are going down. So trading might be happening. Wham is trading. And that'll be significant. Especially if Giggles doesn't do something to counter that. He's going for the mosque and stables and another blacksmith there to influence that. Will we see trading coming out for Giggles as well? We'll have to see, but I have to say the neutral trading market, trading post is not ideal for Giggles rather. Wham has his in a quite a nice spot. Giggles is a little bit further forward, but of course with some walling could protect that quite nicely. Doesn't look like he's interested in that though. Now in the centre, again, bit of peace and quiet. A lot of the army for the Ottomans gathering around this position though. So certainly it's been a story of a semi-fast castle for the Malians with 2 town centre with the Ottomans. A bit of idle time in the villager production for some reason. And certainly the difficulty with the Malians pushing in the castle age because of the static defences of walling up in the middle placed by the Ottomans. But now comes a big army for the Malians, 50 military units versus 23. These guys are heading in. This is what we talked about, how this is a slightly less direct route, but it's a good route to take to their opponent. And he's heading that way now and looking to perhaps pick off some villagers that are on their deer patch. We will see how much he's able to achieve as more gold veins are being taken over by Wham and his pit mines, as some relics are being brought in too. Already has 1 in the bank, 2, 3 in their clasp, so certainly relics wise, the Malians are going to be gathering a lot of gold. This is kind of a concern for the Ottomans. The villager lead is not all that many, all things considered. Just approaching 7 villager lead, and especially when you consider the fact that Wham has started up his trade with 4 markets. Holy moly, he's going to be producing those very quickly, you feel. And that gold income is really going to spiral out of control, you feel. A lot of infantry. Might need to get some of those mangonels, as we say. There is that mangonel coming up from the Mehmed Imperial Academy. That armory, rather. That will be important. Here's the engagement here. Sipai heading forward, just about to dance in. They do head into the javelin throwers. They head back because of their spears. The Donso are in the way. Archers are behind. Mangonel edging forward, looking to try and get some value. Will he be able to unfold and unpack? It does unfold. Doesn't get a shot off though. Wham is looking to retreat with those units, and he's doing so nicely. Javelin throw is getting a good throw off on the retreat. There is a Janissary there as well. There's the Mangonel, gets a shot up, but not all that great. There's the Musafadi warriors looking to snipe the Mangonel, but Giggles does great to keep the army in front of the Mangonel to protect it, but the Javelin thrower is going to head in and look to snipe that Mangonel. Mangonel goes down. The real threat for the Malians has been taken out, that mangonel, and now Giggles has to retreat. This is a big fight here, and Giggles doesn't seem to be winning it. The Sipahi do dive into the Donsos. That's not where they want to be. They want to be heading here where the javelin throwers are, and that's exactly what he's doing, but there aren't that many of them. The javelin throwers are doing a lot of damage here. And certainly Giggles not winning this fight. He's going to have to try and retreat with what army he has left. The Sipahi will die on the retreat, and he does have a couple of archers heading back, only 13, but wham, is looking strong on the military front. He smells blood. Only an 8 villager lead here for Giggles, which is surprising. Having that 2 town centre play, doesn't have trade though, and that's the big changing feature you feel. As this game progresses, that trade is really going to come into effect, and the mangonel does unpack and does get hit off. Doesn't get all that much HP though. It's unfortunate. Kind of hit between the two armies, the retreating Donsos and the retreating javelin throwers, as the army does start to push back for the Ottomans again. 60 to 32 though. Little group, just a scout here, looking to see what's happening in the base. He will spot that there's no trading, and there's another relic coming in. Oh, wham! Looks like he's got all 5 potentially. He's certainly got 4. I don't see the other on the map. I suspect maybe the Ottomans has 1. Yeah, the Ottomans do have 1, so not going to be enough. And that central sacred site being captured by Wham as well. The gold income coming in will be very strong for Wham, that is for sure, especially when you consider the trade. That sacred site on the west side as well, and get the feeling that Giggles is going to be struggling with only a 6 villager lead and the military deficit. The mangonel not getting a fire off, and that's unfortunate. It does have some villagers that might look to repair. The villagers aren't repairing, and it looks like the mangonel might go down. If that mangonel goes down, that is big loss there. All the villagers just about save it, and he keeps it alive as another mangonel pops up. There are 2. That is significant danger now for Wham. I don't think he'll want to push in too much further, as villagers do look to start maybe putting an outpost here in this position. But 2 mangonels, it will be the saving grace for now. Wham might need to consider getting some springles. We shall see. He does have a lot of infantry in the field, so certainly mangonels are going to be very helpful for the Ottomans. And I think malians now, Wham, he realizes he can't really push in too much more. He's done a bit of damage, taking some really good trades, some really good cost-effective fights, as he now starts to add in the Musafadi warrior. Certainly with trading here coming out, Giggles is going to be running into all sorts of problems. Look at that gold income per minute, 2,600 versus just 250. Certainly concerned, but Giggles does have quite a large bank of gold. He's not really spending it on units. Of course, going for the Sipahi and the archers, both of which cost just food and wood. Military numbers starting to equalise now a little bit, and that's certainly going to be partly because of the military schools. 3 military schools at the moment, with the farming transition coming in too for the Ottomans. Central sacred site is in play, and to say the gold passive income here for Wham is looking very strong. Could be another engagement. A couple of units heading forward for Giggles. They run to the death. They'll spot some of the units, and that's exactly what happens. As you can see, seeing 2 mangonels, Wham will not want to chance it. He's got the springles to counter the mangonels, and does have a bit of a switch to the Musafadi warrior as well. Ottomans looking to be a little bit optimistic about getting that central, right-sided sacred site rather. And a wolf is chomping at the knees of those traders. There's a couple of Sipahi trying to make their way down in the middle. Look at this, Wham coming in with some stone walls. He recognizes that he does have a stronger military here, about to push forward, and you feel those mangonels are going to be falling victim to the springles if Giggles isn't careful. Giggles, on the other hand, looking to make his way through in the middle, looking to push this area, but fortunate for him, he's going to run into stone walls, and his army is going to be out of place. This is a huge concern for Giggles, because his army is going to go down the center. They're going to meet a stone wall, and it's going to take time for him to head back. As the Sipahi go down, you just feel like Giggles is losing units a little bit too cheaply, a little bit too easily here, and that's going to pay in the long run. There's units here for Giggles, preoccupied in the middle, but they do not know that is stone-walled. It's a decent number of archers, 29 that could be joining the fight, and they are not on the fight. Mangonels are completely exposed now. They will be shot at, almost one shot by the javelin throws, it seems. Springles, they might have had a couple of shots though. Springles pushing forward, and the army is not in position for Giggles. He doesn't have all that much, and whatever he does have are completely caught out of position. Wham, he sensed that the army was in the middle. In fact, he knew the army was in the middle, and that he is now taking the opportunity to fight and take the fight. Springles do get one shot off on the mangonel, but they're just coming out to repair. Musafadi warriors looking to try and narrow down the gap between the two armies. Javelin throwers focusing on the buildings for now. Musafadi warriors will perish to the archers, of course. There's still one mangonel fully repaired, but there are 3 springolds now, it seems, for Wham. But there's a large group of army coming in from the west. Sipahi and archers. This could be the big fight that we're waiting for in this game. This could be the telling fight of the game, as we see the springolds focusing on units as they come out of the stables. Mangonel just about to unpack. Wham needs to be careful. Springolds and military do retreat. Will the springolds start to turn around and fight and focus on the mangonel? We shall see. Javelin throwers looking to fire off on the Sipahi. Acting as a great meat shield. Mangonel does come off, take a good shot. Takes a large chunk of the army, but still a lot are standing. Springolds do take out the mangonel in the end, and this is a nice fight overall for Giggles. Despite starting off with a military deficit, he's fighting this back very nicely. Wham looking to protect and save those 3 springolds. Pretty fast on their feet on the west side. Look at that, keeping a nice spot. Military coming in on the west, looking to raid, doing a decent amount of damage, but keeping a very nice strategic position there for the Ottomans. And on the east, he's pushing back. Giggles really certainly making a fight of this. Look at the military lead now. He's got the military lead. He's turned things around with one decisive big fight. But with trade coming in now for Wham, really starting to kick in. Look at the number of traders he's got. And they're giving in food as well as they progress. Look at that. 25 traders in total. That is an extensive amount of gold. Don't forget the passive gold generation from the 4 relics too. There's the keep. Wham trickling in units. They will be dying to the keep though. He has spotted it now and is redirected the rally route. As a couple of Musfadia in the stealth mode. Picked apart by the archers. Toll outpost though looking nice here for Wham, keeping the vision and preoccupying these archers, which is not ideal. The archers won't be able to do too much damage to these toll outposts. Certainly more siege will be required. Sipahi chasing down the Musafadi warrior in the back. Another mangonel coming out soon. And now Wham with the villager lead. Certainly looking strong. And don't forget as well the traders. Giggles does feel to be a bit more of on a timer here. He needs to be a bit more aggressive. Not sure if he spotted in time that the trade was there, but in any case, he's going to have to do something about it now because he doesn't know about the trade. That is kind of brutal. Take out the toll outposts, but that's brought him a lot of time here for Wham. Again, army coming in to just raid the Musafadi warriors with their stealth attacks. Difficult to spot at times. A couple of villages being idled. 106 villagers to 92. Relatively equal number of military. And there's a defensive keep for Wham. 2 of them, in fact, in this western location, looking to protect the sacred site, as well as this entry point. This is very, very well guarded here for Wham. There doesn't seem to be any way through here for Giggles, not without siege and trebuchet. Looks like Giggles will need to focus on the right side. There is a mangonel though for Wham instead. Be taken apart by the Sipahi. Gets there in time. That's a big, big pick off. Giggles does have another vizier point to spend. And taking good fights here on the right side, but Eco is being idled. This is strong for Wham. With just a couple of units, he's causing a lot of damage. Central Sacred Site. Keep on that Central Sacred Site as well. Wham clearly has been heavy on stone. Either that or he's been buying it because, I mean, he has got 3 keeps on the map ready. 2 on the west, 1 in the center. It looks like he's going to play to fight in the middle and the right as well. 25 minutes into the game. Trade though. You feel like the trade is what's going to make the difference. East side of Sacred Site now is in possession of Giggles. We'll get a bit more gold, but look at the gold that Giggles has, despite having pretty minimal income. Of course, his unit's not really costing much gold. Now, just going to try and micro this back, but it feels like Wham has a little bit too much military. A lot of villagers heading forward, and not sure what they're up to. Maybe looking to buy a keep, perhaps. Not sure what these villagers are up to. It must be a keep. Can't imagine what else they're there for. It doesn't have the stone, though. Yeah, it does. It does now. Oh wait, he's going for the Port of the Hunters. He's going for the Imperial Age. Holy smokes. Initially I thought it was for a keep, but there is a mangonel there. That could be a bit of a problem. It's very, very aggressive here for Wham. And he might not be able to get this fort up. That's the concern. It does have military coming in, but it was very costly. It does have a lot of villagers though, to be fair. Trouble is the mangonel's coming in. That is a huge concern. 2 mangonels do a lot of damage on those villagers. Will he get the fort to the Huntress up? I'm not so sure. Not without severe casualties. There are 2 springles. If the mangonels go down to the springles, that'll be an issue for the Ottomans. Does get another shot off. Does lose a mangonel. Will lose the second. And the fort of the Huntress does go up. And there it is. There's the GG. Wham's trading is triumphant on Lipany.